At it again, and we've got to double back or circle back, in the words of Jen Psaki. We've got to circle back to a story that we talked about yesterday involving Nikki Haley, because there's been a new story that's come out involving Nikki Haley that you guys are gonna find pretty funny, especially considering that Nikki Haley is the establishment's darling. Which I got a clip on that too. I've got probably about 4 or 5 clips I want to show you guys. So stick around, sit back, relax, grab a drink of your choice, and enjoy the show. But for those of you that need a refresher on what we talked about yesterday involving Nikki Haley, like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in to this refresher. Check it out.
Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do.
Oh.
What do you think the cause of the Civil War was?
Oh, easy question, man.
I'm sorry?
I'm not ready to president. I want to see your view on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government. We need to have capitalism. We need to have economic freedom. We need to make sure that we do all things so that individuals have the liberties so that they can have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to do or be anything they want to be without government getting in the way.
This is coming from the same person that said that she wanted to dox everyone on social media. Just a side note.
In the year 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
You answered my question.
Next question.
That was bad. That was real bad. Real bad. Simple question involved a simple answer. Honestly, and listen, and you guys know, I'm not one to give Ron DeSantis a lot of credit. I think he's run an absolutely terrible campaign, probably the worst campaign there ever was. But I do agree with him on this, and I have to give him a lot of credit. I have to give credit where credit is due, and I do think that Ron DeSantis perfectly summed it up. This is the way that Nikki Haley should have answered that question. Check it out.
What would your answer be to the question that Haley got in terms of the primary cause of the Civil War?
Of course, you have the issue of slavery. You had the states that were concerned about Lincoln interfering and potentially eliminating it. And they viewed it as a states' rights issue, not as a federal issue. And they were concerned that you have this Republican president may come in and get rid of the institution of slavery. And so that was, it's interesting because the Republican Party was founded to put a stop to the growth of slavery in this country. And the abolition of slavery was, to this day, remains the party's top achievement. And it was a partisan achievement because the people that were fighting Lincoln, the people that wanted to preserve, they were Democrats. And so the Republican Party did that, and that's something that you should acknowledge and be proud of as a Republican.
Bingo. Acknowledge it and be proud of it. Say it with, there's I'm not going to say that because that's going to sound bad. Like you said, acknowledge it and be proud of it. Civil War was fought over slavery. Democrats wanted to keep it. Republicans didn't. Republicans said no. Democrats said, oh, absolutely, HE double hockey sticks. You're not about to come in here and take our slaves. We'll fight for this. And Republicans won. And unfortunately, things haven't changed in today's world because Democrats still want to take us back into slavery. Not the slavery of that day, of course. That terrible slavery, which was absolutely atrocious and horrible. Obviously, we can all agree to that. But Democrats want us to go back into slavery. They want us to go back into segregation. You see it all over the place. Democrats don't want us to have freedom. Oh, you want a gas stove? Up, no, Democrats said, it's not safe for the environment. They want to keep us safe. You want a gas guzzling vehicle? Oh, no, absolutely not. It's not safe for the environment. So Democrats want to keep us safe. So we're transferring all of our manufacturers over to EVs now. I know you guys have heard about it. Like all the cars are like going electric. Like, I don't know about y'all, but do y'all want an electric vehicle? Because I don't. I'm just saying. As a matter of fact, I might invest in one of those old school, pre-computer vehicles. So, I don't know, man, just in case something happens, you know what I'm saying? I want a vehicle that actually runs, that doesn't rely on any computers or anything like that, any microchips, nothing. I want simplicity, okay? Yeah, it's going to be old school, but that's all right. As long as it rolls up and down the road, gets me from point A to point B, I'm fine with it, okay? And I feel like they were a lot easier to fix, like the old school joints. But cars today, my goodness, absolutely ridiculous. Some of them are incredible, but you can have quite the challenge on your hands trying to fix the darn thing. But across the board, Democrats want to take away freedoms. Oh, you don't want to get the. Well, you're going to have to lose your job. And it's to keep you safe. You got to get it. Got to get the juice in your arm. Okay? Got to get the serum. The secret sauce. Okay? If you don't, you're going to get fired from your job. But it's to keep you safe. So, I mean, you could have gone down that route. That was just off the top of the head. I didn't write that or anything. I don't have any papers, sitting out in front of me or anything, or a teleprompter. Which, hey, it might be nice to get a teleprompter, have me a nice assistant, put me together, something, anyway. But that was just off the top of the head. I don't know, man. But here's her explanation. And check out the fella in the background as well during this clip, and listen to Nikki Haley.
I guess if you grow up in the South, it's a given that it's about slavery. To me, it was about freedom. What do you do? It's bigger than slavery. That was such a stain on our history. But what do you take from it going forward? Yes, of course, slavery can never happen again. But going forward, doesn't that mean we should focus on the freedoms of people to live their life, not to have government, not to have any other person tell them what they can and can't do? That's been trampled on the past few years. That's the part we've got to make sure we never take anything away from. So look, I mean, you guys can make it about something else, but if you look at my record in South Carolina, we dealt with this a whole lot more than people. And what I'll tell you is, yes, you can acknowledge a point in history, but what do you do with that point in history? You got to make sure the lessons constantly go forward so that we never see it again.
I'm sorry, but did you guys notice? Check out the...
Not to have government, not to have any other person tell them what they can and can't do. What do you do? It's
right
bigger
here.
than slavery. That was such a stain on our history. But what do you take from it going forward? Yes, of course, slavery can never happen again. But going forward, doesn't that mean we should focus on the freedoms of people to...
Bro, he nodded his head to, but going forward... I'm sorry. When I was pulling up this clip, this whole thing together, like... and I was listening to her speak, I couldn't help but notice he was... He didn't even know what he was nodding to. He literally nodded to her saying, but going forward... Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. I just thought that was hilarious. But let's get to the controversy that happened recently, and it was all due to a 9-year-old. Yeah, a 9-year-old called out Nikki Haley. Check it out.
Hey, little guy, how are you?
He's not going to give you the mic.
No, hold it. So, thank you, Nikki. I wanted to ask you, so Chris Christie thinks that you're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. And honestly, I agree with him. And you're basically the new John Kerry on the... if you remember John Kerry from 2004. So my question is, how can you change your opinion like that in just 8 years? And will you pardon Donald Trump?
So first, tell me what your name is. Adam? And Adam, how old are you?
I am 9 almost.
9. So fifth grade?
No.
4th grade. Well, I, for one, am very proud of you for coming, and very proud of you for listening, and very proud of you for asking that question. So the first thing I'll tell you is politics is about distraction, right? And so people like my friends Chris Christie are going to say she's a flip-flopper. But let's look at it. What's he saying I'm flip-flopping on? He's basically saying that I'm not hitting Trump hard enough, right? The interesting part of this whole situation is anti-Trumpers think I don't hate him enough. And pro-Trumpers think I don't love him enough. And at the end of the day, the fact is, I'm just telling you the truth like I see it. It's not personal for me. It's never been personal for me. I told you I think he was the right president at the right time. I told you that I agree with a lot of his policies. But do I think he's the right president to go forward? No. We can't handle the chaos anymore. Chris is obsessed with Trump. I mean, God bless him. He's a friend. He's obsessed with Trump. He sleeps, eats, and breathes it every day. I'm thinking bigger than that. If we do that, we're no different than Trump. That's what we're trying to get away from, is the idea that we obsess about a person. This is about a country. We're better than that. We're bigger than that. So I am who I am. I tell my truth just like you told your truth. Except I am no John Kerry.
No, you actually kind of are like John Kerry, and you don't tell the truth. Or no, yeah, you do when you don't have your barking orders, but then it comes out absolutely terrible, and we get to really see who you actually are. Then you go back to talk to your alleged puppet masters. Got to say allegedly. Then you come back out with, a statement. So, I mean, it's clear what's going on, Nikki Haley. It's clear. You don't speak for yourself. You don't say how you really feel, okay? And when you do, it makes you look pretty bad. But what you really do most of the time is you go to your masters, allegedly, and you listen to them, and you say what they want you to say, and you do what they want you to do. Just saying. Because if you ever noticed, whenever she's called out and put on the spot, it never comes out very well. But then she'll come back and try to reiterate it, right? And then it all sounds a whole lot better. Just saying, 1 + 1 = 2. Just saying, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, well, by golly, it's probably a duck.
Answered his question. He asked if I would pardon Trump, and I've answered this before. I would pardon Trump, and the reason is, first of all, we don't know what they're going to find, innocent, guilty, any of that, and we want everybody to be innocent until proven guilty. But the second thing is, if he is found guilty, a leader needs to think about what's in the best interest of the country. What's in the best interest of the country is not to have an 80-year-old man sitting in jail that continues to divide our country. What's in the best interest of the country would be to pardon him so that we can move on as a country and no longer talk about him.
So yeah, she seems to think that we're all just gonna move on from Trump. Trump is the Republican Party, in my humble opinion, at this point, because the Republican Party has failed us. And Trump came in and said, you know what? This is the way things should run. This is the way it should go in the Republican Party. This is how it should be. And, you know, now we have the Matt Gaetz and the Byron Donalds of the world who, you know, I believe will take the torch and continue it even further. Like I said before, I don't think we'll have the same Republican Party after 2024 when Trump wins. I think the Republican Party will look a whole lot different, will be a whole lot more strategic, and it'll be a true Republican Party. Because I've been seeing a lot of people say, "Oh man, I've lost faith in, you know, both parties, blah blah blah." And listen, I get it, 100%. Especially we're talking about Democrats. I think on the Republican side, we will see a lot of the rhinos getting pushed out. Obviously, one of them left already in Kevin McCarthy. So I do believe you will see a mass exodus of the rhinos, and we will bring in more true Republicans. Okay, I do believe that will happen. But you know, Nikki Haley, I came across this clip, and I think it really described Nikki Haley to a T, and I want you guys to check it out, and I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on this in the comment section, please. All right, check it out.
Nikki Haley and Joe Biden are not that much different. They're quintessentially the same on Ukraine. They're the same on China. They're the same on almost all national security. They're the same as our relationship to NATO and the United Nations. They're the same on almost all of the defense contracting, forever wars, regime change. They're the same, which is why I think you see the establishment. One, they'd be fine with Joe Biden because the status quo remains the same. But two, you have someone like Nikki Haley, who is essentially Joe Biden light. They might differ on some cultural issues here and there, pro-life versus pro-choice, right? But to the people who are making all the Benjamins, they don't really care, which is why you're seeing this narrative emerge that, oh, look at Haley is closing in on Trump. Nikki Haley.
What do you guys think? Nikki Haley is Joe Biden light, and it's why the establishment doesn't care to prop her up. Ooh, look at Nikki. Look at Nikki. She's gaining on Trump, guys. And I'm like, is she though? Look at the polls. See, the polls say that she's gaining. And I'm like, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I don't believe those polls. You know? And listen, I get it. Because you guys, some people are going to say, well, Rich, but you believe the polls where Trump is beating Biden and yada, yada, yada. I get it. But there's a reason why I say that. And it's because I have evidence for both sides. I have evidence as to why I believe the polls for Trump. And I have evidence as to why I don't believe the ones for Nikki Haley. Okay? And part of that evidence is all of you. Now, granted, just a small sample size, right? But I've asked you all. Would you ever consider Nikki? And I mean, literally everybody was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She shouldn't have any. She shouldn't be in office under any capacity. You know what I'm saying? Not even the janitor. You know, and I've seen the videos, and obviously I've shown you guys the videos of people supporting Trump. People lining up to, hey, yo, Trump, people you wouldn't have even expected to support Trump. But I haven't seen that for Nikki Haley, so I'm just curious as to where is all this support for Nikki? Not seeing it, not finding it. And we've all got cameras. There's cameras everywhere, so you can't tell me, oh, well, it's just not on camera. That's BS, because all of Trump's supporters on camera. It's all on camera. It's everywhere. Where's Nikki's? Just saying. And, you know, I tend to believe that may be an establishment push to prop her up a little bit because, you know, they say, oh, well, Biden's not popular, so let's go with our next best choice, and it's Nikki because she's Biden light. She'll keep the agenda rolling, and, you know, Republicans will be, oh, yeah, we got a Republican, you know. And me personally, I'm saying absolutely not. Nope. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. Peace and love. I'm out.